My name is Tiffany Spraggins-Payne. You are listening to Zigzag, a weekly podcast discussing women in science, technology, transportation, engineering, entrepreneurship, mathematics, and related industries. On Zigzag, we discuss inclusion and diversity news, current trends, and have special guests speak about their experiences, including their competitive edge in the marketplace.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan Martin, the producer for the Grit Studios. So on Monday, October 1st, Philly's Minority Enterprise Development Week, or Med Week, is going to kick off. So as the name suggests, it is all about enhancing and growing the opportunities available to minority enterprises. So Tiffany is actually going to be moderating a panel discussion about successfully obtaining bonding and contracts in construction. Now, one of the panelists is Iola Harper, who is a Zigzag guest way back on episode 3. So this week, in honor of Med Week, we're going to re-air her episode. So Iola is the Deputy Director for the Office of Economic Opportunity for the City of Philadelphia. So she is in one of the highest positions in the city to be able to comment on minority enterprise development. Now, this interview has been edited for brevity, but you can go back and listen to episode 3 for the full interview. So this event that we're talking about is on Monday, October 1st from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Enterprise Center located at 4548 Market Street in Philadelphia. If you'd like to attend the panel discussion, there's going to be a link below in the show notes. And just so you know, the event is free to attend. We really hope you enjoy this interview and get some gems from it. I know that I learned a lot just from listening to it. So without further ado, here we go.
Today, my guest is Iola Harper, Deputy Director for the Commerce Department at the City of Philadelphia. Welcome, Iola.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
So glad to have you. Iola, would you say that you bring your authentic self to work every day?
I do now. And so I am fortunate that the things that are important to me personally, I have been blessed to have a job that allows me to really work in the space that's most important to me, which is empowering people of color. And so I am able to, at this point in my life, actually live things that are deep in my heart and deep in my soul. I grew up right down the street from this building at 50th and Market and watched this neighborhood deteriorate. And this is the neighborhood that raised me. These are the people that raised me. And a neighborhood that my friends and I were free to wander and ride our bikes. And now most parents are like, okay, no, you can't go outside.
Right.
It's too, and so it's important to me that communities, neighborhood communities, urban communities, particularly communities of color, and the residents of those communities have access to the economic resources, the financial resources, the amenities, and all of the things that they need to have quality of life. And so my work here at the Enterprise Center when I was here afforded me the ability to do things like that. And my appointment to the Office of Economic Opportunity by the current mayor certainly positions me to really do what I can for the people of this city and for the people that I care so much about.
That's really amazing, Iola, because when I think about even my upbringing, grew up on 52nd Street myself, I just love how you talked about, the women that you admire and the hustle that they have and, where you are in your current position and the authenticity that you own in any space that you're in, whether it's through the Commerce Department with the City of Philadelphia, the work that you've done with the Enterprise Center. You've also done some work as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. And so at one point in my life, I was fortunate. It was kind of the perfect storm that allowed me for 5 years to operate a consulting firm. And in that time period, I worked with municipalities that wanted to improve urban commercial corridors. I worked with organizations who wanted to help women and minority entrepreneurs grow and scale. I had opportunities to do community development or community organizing type of activities. And, I can only say that my career path has been a a blessed one because, again, it's been one that has allowed me to kind of work in the place that I feel the grooviest, which is in urban communities. I mean, so often young people will leave the community, they'll go to college, and they'll never come back. It is critical that some of us come back. Some of us have to come back. Some of us have to come back and provide the social capital and the intellectual capital that's needed to turn our communities around. And so I found a spot. I love this spot. I don't know what God has in store for me, but as far as I can tell, this is where I'm going to be. You know, the job that I have now is an appointed job, and at some point I won't have this job anymore, but I feel comfortable that I somehow am going to be in this space.
So Iola, tell us about how you execute on days when you just don't feel like it. How do you press forward?
At the end of the day, as the kids say, I'm going to keep it 100. Still got that mortgage to pay.
That's right.
Still got that car payment. Still have groceries to buy. I have 14 nephews. My son is 22 years old. He's the oldest. And then going down from there, 14 young Black men who are parts of my heart, who live in the communities of Philadelphia, who go to schools in Philadelphia. So a lot of times I'm doing it for them because when we look at what's going on in the news, and when I call them all my children, when my children experience the very things that we see in the news, it hurts my heart. And so oftentimes when I am fighting for a business to get an opportunity, or I'm fighting for a woman to get access to a contract, I am doing it for all of us and all of our babies and our babies' babies.
That's right.
And so at least, I have a chance to do this. I'm going to do it while I'm here. But on days when it's really, really hard, those are the things that I think about. I could be anywhere else, but for some reason, God has chosen to put me right here. And so I've got to make the best of it while I'm here. And so I drag my hind parts into work. And the funny thing is, a lot of times those days where you really don't want to go and you're really exhausted or you're really frustrated, oftentimes turn out to be the best days ever because they're little things. I have people that send me thank you cards. I have people that will call and say thank you so much. I walked into a store the other day and a woman came up to me and said, I know you don't even remember me, but you helped me get a loan so that I could open this business. And when she started talking and I looked at her face, I absolutely remembered her. And that was a day, ironically, I was having a frustrating day. I got up, I said, I got to take a walk because I had a couple situations. I had to clear my mind and figure out what the next step. And I walked into this woman's store and she remembered my name and came up, and I'm thinking, who is this person? And she took me down a path to show me exactly what I did to help her and how it got her to where she was. And so that ended up being one of the best days ever.
I think it's so great that you bring that up. You said that this woman took you through the journey of how you helped her.
That I didn't even remember, honestly.
And I think it's so interesting because when we think about Warren Buffett, who writes about complex insurance industry, and he often averages about 13 words per sentence. And what I do know of you and know about you is that you are able to take very complex subjects, projects, and simplify them so that people can get it, like get what they need to do, get what they need from you to move forward and apply, good business practices to their own business. Talk to us about how you're able to bring that competitive edge to your current work.
Sure. So I've had the great fortune to be able to sit on both sides of the desk. And oftentimes I describe it as translation services, even though we're all speaking English. Oftentimes processes, business concepts, even directions on how to do something are offered in a quote unquote language that our businesses just can't decipher. And it has nothing to do with intelligence because businesses owned by people of color, businesses owned by women, they are run by some of the smartest, savviest, grittiest, folks that I've ever met. And so oftentimes it is translating complex languages into terminology that our community is accustomed to hearing and used to understanding. And when you're able to do that, when you're able to deconstruct the process using language that the audience you're talking to understands clearly, they then begin to see themselves as being able to accomplish something. And once someone sees themselves as being able to accomplish something, you've lit the spark. It is not complicated to write a business plan. It is not complicated to begin to understand what it takes. And what I've found is that many businesses, particularly businesses owned by under-resourced people of color, they have the technical knowledge, they have what it takes, but they're so confused by the process.
Yes.
Sometimes it's on purpose and sometimes it's not on purpose. But I look at myself as untangling and deconstructing and translating in a way that somebody says, that's what that meant? Oh, yeah, I can do that. And that's what we want to do. And that's when we start to do that more and we start to talk about business using plain language and we start to talk about financial statements and using plain English, we will have more people that begin to say, I can do this. I've been doing this. I've been managing a household with children and a mortgage on this particular salary. I know I can do this. Right. I am a master accountant. And so it's helping people make those associations. And I think for me, when I see the light that they've got it in their eye, that is what keeps me motivated a lot of times. I think that's incredible.
I want you to talk a little bit about how you drive growth, not only with the Commerce Department, but just, you mentioned, these 14 young men who are in your life. Like, how do you impart the confidence, the wisdom? How do you get behind these young people and say, hey, you can do this. Yeah. You can grow. Where you are today is not where you will be or have to be tomorrow.
Right. So a couple of things. So whether it's driving growth as an individual or driving growth as a business, some of the tenets are the same. One of the things that's most important in this society and this economy is acquiring new knowledge, right? So whether it's one of my nephews who has aspirations to do something, it's important that they understand how important education is. From a business's perspective, a lot of businesses get really complacent. They experience a certain level of success, and then they say to themselves, I don't need to go to the conference. I don't need to subscribe to this magazine anymore. I don't need to even read the newspaper. I'm too busy. And what happens is their businesses become stagnant because they're not aware of new innovation. They're not aware of new things that are happening in their industry. They're not aware of software that's making their industry more efficient and more productive and more profitable. And so unfortunately, I find this with businesses that are under-resourced. And they could be under-resourced financially. They could be under-resourced from a human capital perspective, meaning it's just me or it's just the two of us and we don't have a lot of time. But acquisition of new knowledge and acquisition of intellectual capital. Intellectual capital trumps financial capital. When you know what's going on in the industry, when you know what's going on in your business, when you understand the finances of your business and how that aligns with the finances of the industry, you will begin to grow and scale. As an individual, when you understand what it is that you want to do, and you understand what it is what it's going to take to get you there, and you begin to pursue that path, growth in large part has to do with intellectual capital and not compromising intellectual capital for the pursuit of financial capital.
That's powerful. I mean, I just had to take a pause. So tell me a little bit about what success means to you.
Success to me means that I'm able to ultimately live a life that makes me happy. I think that's what success means for most people, but they don't always think about it that way. They think about the pursuit of success and not what it means when they achieve success. What are they achieving success for?
Yes.
So for me, success means a happy family. It means a warm and comfortable home. It means an ability to be philanthropic. It means an ability to love up on my people, love up on my family. It means all of those things. And so, but I think what trumps everything is peace and happiness. And so would I rather have a job that pays $1 million but not have peace in my heart and happiness? Absolutely not. I feel like that's simple. And I'm moving towards that. And so, that's my definition of success. Just waking up and feeling good about waking up and saying, you know what, I'm contributing. And I think, a lot of people want to contribute to this world.
Yes.
And we've been gifted as people with multiple talents and multiple skills. And I think it's honing in on what's the skill and talent that I can use that's been given to me or gifted to me that I can use to really make changes and transformations in a good way. And I've found that people that have discovered that are tremendously happy and peaceful. But it's not an easy thing to come upon for some people. And it's something that you learn as you get older. So that's my definition.
I love that definition. And on the heels of that, tell us, what are your aspirational pursuits for the Commerce Department and the Office of Economic Opportunity?
Right. So the work that I do is very cyclical in that one challenge feeds another. Let's look at the city of Philadelphia. You know what? Let's not even look at the city of Philadelphia. Let's look at West Philadelphia Schuylkill Yards.
Yes.
Millions of dollars in opportunity for companies. My office gets calls. We need firms owned by people of color who can compete and participate. That list is a short list. That list is a short list for many reasons. Oftentimes, it has nothing to do with the businesses themselves. I would want to leave a legacy where we've increased availability of firms who are able to compete. And availability fuels utilization. So those are those big words that nobody knows what you're talking about. And what that means is when there's more businesses available, they are able to then participate in the economy in a significant way. Yes. And when those businesses participate in the economy in a significant way, they are going to hire people from the neighborhood who are going to earn wages that they're going to be able to spend in the neighborhood. And here's that circle. And then the neighborhoods are going to get better. I'm going to do what I can in my time in this position to try to get as many companies moving in that direction as possible.
For more information about the Commerce Department, Iola, where can we find?
Sure. You can find us online at www.phila.gov. And I need to say that the Commerce Department not only concentrates on the issues that I've talked about around participation, but that is a place where a business can learn to plan, launch, and manage a firm. And so if you go to phila.gov, you click on business, there are a ton of resources available for businesses who want to write a business plan or who need money or who need expertise. And so I encourage all the listeners to go online and check us out.
Thank you, Iola. My name is Tiffany Spraggins-Payne, and I'm signing off.
Hello, everyone. This is Ryan Martin, the producer and sound engineer for the Grit Studios. If you enjoy our podcasts, the most important thing you can do to support us is share this episode with your family and friends and let us know what you think about it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. Subscribing is 100% free. Don't know how to subscribe? Don't worry about it. There's a video walking you through the process in the show notes below. We will see you next week, and thank you for listening.